Everybody get up.
Here with Liam Donald, who's recently returned from representing Australia at the World Rowing Junior Championships. We asked a few short fire questions. Liam, how old are you?
I'm 18.
What school were you from? When did you finish?
St Kevin's College in 2012.
And what club do you row for?
Mercantile.
And what Australian crew were you selected in?
I was in the junior men's Cox's 4 this year.
What seat did you sit in?
I was stroking 4.
What's your PB on 2K Ergo?
6'11 on sliders.
Sliders. Yeah. Liam, I'd like you to tell us a little bit about your preparation for the World Championships. First of all, how did you get selected in the Australian Men's Junior Cox's 4?
I rode a pair with Andrew Maglio from Brighton Grammar in Year 12. So between his school commitments, we fit some sessions with the pair, and I supplemented with the single in the lead up to Nationals. When his school season finished after Nationals, we spent full time in the pair in the lead up to trials. At trials, we raced the pair and made it through to the next round, which was seat racing. And we first raced a Cox 4 in the seat race, and then in the afternoon a Cox's 4, and Cox's 4 went faster, so we were selected in the fast boat.
Fantastic. And can you describe for us like the toughest training sessions that you had in the preparation for the Worlds?
There wasn't one particular training session that really strikes out to be the hardest. I just think the whole amount of training became taxing and became hard. There wasn't one standout session ever.
So just a tough preparation.
Yeah, the frequency of training.
And you were selected in a boat with 2 Queensland athletes. How did you manage the preparation and gel as a crew when 2 of the athletes were obviously based in Brisbane and yourselves were based in Victoria?
We had a camp-based lead up to our departure. So we spent 2 camps in Brisbane and then 1 camp in Melbourne, or 2 camps in Melbourne, so we had a last minute camp. Majority of the time we spent in Brisbane up at Commercial Rowing Club, rowing out of their boathouse there. And we spent full time together as a crew every day. Every training session was as a crew, all the ergs and gym, which was a real big difference from training down here as a pair all the start of the season.
So you trained down here as a pair. Who managed that while you were down here?
Our coach in Melbourne was Sandy Mitchell. He was here every morning at 6 a.m. In the cold with me and Mags before Mags went to school, and in the afternoon when we erged and did gym together.
And can you tell us a little bit about the racing experience overseas and how it might differ to racing other crews domestically in Australia?
Overseas, the standard of racing is just so much more ferocious. Like, the race really gets started at the 1500 and continues all the way through the finish, or the 500, sorry, 1500 to go. So it starts at the 500 after blasting out of the blocks as hard as you can, and then you've got to keep going and tack on to the other crews and keep just fighting until the last 500, where hopefully you're in front.
So there's no real stride. It's just get out of the blocks and keep going.
Yeah, there's no stride. There's a rhythm change, but it's really minuscule and it doesn't really feel like much of a slowdown.
And what was the most memorable part of the tour for you?
I think being with the crew. Like, we had a really good crew this year. We all got on really well as 4 mates. We spent heaps of time together and never got sick of each other's company, which was a bonus, I think.
Fantastic. And what did you take out of this year's Junior World Rowing Championships? Obviously, last year you also went to the Junior Worlds. What did you learn out of this tour that's going to help you be successful in the following season?
Just building on the previous year, that the standard of racing is so high at an international level, and we don't necessarily have that standard of racing here in Australia. So when you go overseas, it's sort of sometimes a shock to the body. So it's making all the racing I do here as ferocious and intense as what's going to be at the world stage. So it's not a big shock like I've been there before.
So practicing a lot more racing. With greater intent.
Yeah.
In Australia. And what areas of greatest development for you will you work on in the following season to help you, I guess, take the next step?
My weaknesses is definitely on the strength and the aerobic side of things. Like, I sort of got through on trying to get through on technical, like making up for my lack of strength. But this year, I think coming to this pre-season, I want to get stronger and fitter so I can go faster.
So a lot more lifting and just a lot
Yeah,
more Ks.
yeah, more weights and more Ks basically.
And what are your short and long-term goals in running?
Short-term goal is to be in the under 23 team next year, or at least make it to trials. I think that's not unachievable. And then long-term's obviously, Olympics. Yeah, I'd like to eventually be in the Olympics one day. We'll be all players for a year.
Yep. So you're going to road Olympics, fantastic. And just something to finish off. What are domestically you coached by Sandy Mitchell? Do you have any favourite sayings that you repeatedly hear from Sandy?
Oh, we've got a few that sort of came from the pair this year. One of the most used one was "Ain't nothing to it but to do it." So that sort of got down to it with me and Mags, and in the cold mornings when it was 2 degrees and the water was even colder.
Yep. And tell us something about you that you can tell everyone now that not many people would know about.
There's not much. I'm not very a private person, but everyone knows that I'm pretty competitive. And if you don't, well, you do now.
Well, Liam, thanks very much for your time and all the best in the coming season.